because she has been released. She has been brought home. Neighbors crowded into the parking lot of that pancake house where she worked to welcome her back the night that they got her out, to say they would protect her and protect her family. We've also brought you the...
All right, that was the story out of Missouri. A waitress was arrested by ICE, and they were preparing to deport her. And her small town Missouri stood up and said no. Peaceful protests, loud, demanding, and ICE capitulated. The story before this was the teenage boy who was arrested on his way to volleyball practice, the high school kid, and also small rural town, very red state. Both these are red states. The entire town came out and protested and demanded his release, and he was released. Thumbs up to both cases. The people stood up and said, no, you cannot deport our neighbor, our loved one, our friend. Here's another one.
The story of a little 4-year-old girl in Bakersfield, California. She is not only obviously the cutest little girl in the world, she is a huge medical success story.
Donald Trump ordered this child, this 4-year-old child who could not live without her medical support in Mexico more than a couple days. He ordered her death. Am I being melodramatic? Yes. You deport her out of the American hospital that she's in into Mexico. She's dead in a few days, a slow starvation death. This is what Donald Trump ordered.
She was born with a rare condition that means basically that she can't take in any nutrients on her own. She had her first surgery when she was only 4 days old. She had 7 more surgeries by the time she was 2. Because of this rare...
This is what Trump is calling a murderer, a rapist, a drug pusher, a human trafficker. This 4-year-old girl who could not live without her medical devices more than a few days.
Rare illness she was born with. She was starving. She was not going to survive her infancy with this condition. But under the Biden administration, on a medical humanitarian...
Under the Biden administration, she was let in with her family to get the medical treatment that is not possible in Mexico. It's not possible in Venezuela. It is not possible in El Salvadorian prison, in an American hospital.
Humanitarian visa. This little girl was brought to California, to a children's hospital in San Diego, and then to the children's hospital in Los Angeles. And it's been a complete success. She is now thriving. You see how she's wearing that little, do you have a picture of her in the backpack? They've devised this system that they've built into a backpack where she receives intravenous nutrition 14 hours a day through this little backpack that she wears. And then every 6 weeks, she needs to go to the children's hospital for more extensive treatment. But this system together is working. She's alive. She's thriving. She's great. You see her there wearing a little backpack? President Donald Trump ordered her deported to Mexico. Her doctor said if that...
You right-wingers who cheer this shit on, fuck you. You want this little girl to die. Slowly. By starvation. Fuck you. Fuck you goddamn orange piece of shit. 8647.
Happened that would, by necessity, stop her treatment. They said she would be dead within days. Trump administration insisted she and her family must be deported. They gave her 7 days to leave. The Los Angeles Times and other media outlets reported on this story. There was, as you might expect, an outcry.
Bakersfield. Bakersfield. Something different from Los Angeles in Bakersfield. Similar in the Missouri town and similar in the rural Massachusetts town with a teenage boy. All had people that Trump was going to deport. The people stood up and said no.
And protest. California's Democratic U.S. senators got involved. Adam Schiff and Alex Padilla both got
Democrats had to stand up for her, but also the townspeople
involved. And in response to that outcry, you know what happened? The Trump administration gave up. That little girl will be allowed to stay.
I'm pretty sure Trump didn't give up because Adam Schiff spoke up. He probably gave up because the town of Bakersfield said no.
With her family, they're going effectively to let her live. This is footage from local news from local Channel 4 in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. What else? Yes, they are a red voter district.
And from News from the States, their print coverage of people picketing peacefully outside the immigration facility in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And you see the signs there, the repeated signs that all say, "Keep Antonio here." Antonio is a local man with 3 kids. He's lived locally in the Albuquerque area for more than 20 years. He was told suddenly that he needed to appear at the local immigration office for a sudden meeting. But by this point, of course, people know exactly what that means, right?
You go to your legal process at the immigration office, the immigration court, ICE is waiting to nab you. This is the kind of bullshit they pull. People going through the legal process, people needing medical treatment, high school kids, elementary school kids. This is how Stephen Miller is trying to get his 3,000 a day quota.
Albuquerque residents knew what it was going to mean for him. They turned out in force to defend him, to picket outside that facility, to protest, to basically say, don't you dare take him away. Keep Antonio here, their sign said. Immigration officials held the man inside for 3 hours, but then they let him go. They didn't try.
They let him go. They let the little girl go. They let the waitress go. They let the kid go. All great things. They shouldn't have been arrested in the first fucking place.
Tried to take him. He walked out. He was embraced and cheered by the local people who had turned out to protest for him.
This is also happening in a town in upstate New York along the Canadian border. The people protested, and it's another red state, red voter area. I know New York's a blue state, but that district is red. They protested. The people got released.
What is the most important story in our news right now in our country, in this moment in America?
Right now, all the attention's going to LA.
I mean, there is clearly, I think if we're being honest, we sort of stop beating around the bush.
In the city, as reports of raids and deportations increase.
Okay. Backtrack to Friday. People were peacefully protesting, just like in that small town in Missouri, just like in that small town in upstate New York, just like Albuquerque, New Mexico, just like the town in Massachusetts where that teenage boy was kidnapped by ICE. It was just as peaceful until ICE started committing acts of violence. And I'm going to show you some of those acts of violence. I know you're going to say, which came first, the chicken or the egg? When did you hear about riots? Honestly, I'm telling you this on Tuesday morning, at 4 o'clock Tuesday morning. When did you first hear about ICE protests, riots in Los Angeles? It wasn't Monday. It wasn't Sunday. It wasn't Saturday. It wasn't even fucking Friday. And if you tell me it's Friday, you're fucking lying, you fucking maggot pieces of shit. No. They started out peaceful, just like everywhere else in the country where the town, the city, the area does not want its people deported, arrested, detained. Elementary schools, high schools, churches, immigration courts, Home Depot parking lots, pancake houses. That was the waitress. This is what we know about LA today, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday. Friday, when all this stuff started, it was peaceful protests, and every time in a big democratic city where Trump is targeting, Trump wants this. This is what it ends up in: violence, vandalism, rioting. And it's not just the protesters. The protesters are trying to be peaceful. There are people, bad actors, who are jumping on the bandwagon because law enforcement's so engaged with this bullshit. that they're able to get away with vandalizing autonomous cars. What do they call that? That self-taxi driving taxi. They get to, anyway. I want to get to some very specific stuff. Trump is doing this on purpose. Doing this on purpose in a blue city. He's going across the country trying to get people, but he's having this specific reaction in this specific Democratic stronghold for a reason.
President Trump ordered the deployment of 2,000 troops. National Guard troops and police pushed back protesters with tear gas. Reports say law enforcement.
Did you see that in Missouri? Nope. Did you see that in upstate New York? Nope. Did you see that in Western Massachusetts? Nope. Did you see that in Bakersfield, California? Nope. Do you see it in the big blue city? Yep.
Enforcement also.
This is a reporter. This is a reporter from another country. This is an Australian reporter. This is a reporter that has nothing to do with the protests except for reporting on it. She's not near protesters. She's standing off the side, legally reporting.
Now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
Watch the officer that my cursor is circling. Shot directly at her intentionally. She's not a criminal. She's not an illegal immigrant. She's not a protester. She's not a vandalizer. She's a fucking reporter. Reporting. Legally reporting. And she's standing next to other reporters. That officer was close enough to hear her reporting and said, oh no, we're not going to have this. We're going to violate the First Amendment. We're going to violate the Constitution. We're going to attack this young woman. And by the way, that officer has not been arrested. Let's watch it again. Watch the officer closest to her, right behind the white thing. Turned right at her and shot her deliberately.
As this reporter is detained live on air.
This is another reporter. This is what? CNN. Everyone knows CNN is the Clinton News Network, the evil left media source. Again, reporters, plural, several reporting agencies are here in this designated spot to report from, and they're reporting legally. Watch what happens.
Posters saying
CNN?
it's time to escalate.
Wait 1 second,
it's time
John. Hold on.
yeah,
I want
go
to.
ahead.
Jason,
Yep.
what's going on? I hear you. Am I seeing Jason Carroll being? What happened, Jason?
I am being detained. I am being detained.
Jason Carroll still has his mic on and is still reaching. Sorry, it's not funny. This is some serious fucking bullshit.
Laura, I'm not being arrested. Correct, officers?
Did you hear what he told you?
No.
We're letting you go, but you can't come back.
The only place the right-wing YouTube channels, the right-wing Facebooks, the right-wing X channels, the only place that they're reporting on this, they're spinning it as the Australian reporter and the CNN reporter did something heinous and horrible, and that they deserve this. They're fucking reporting right next to the Fox News guy, right next to the New York Times guy, right next to, you name it, media source, they're reporting. But CNN is hated by Donald Trump. I don't know what the issue is with the Australian reporter, but there was no reason for this. They're trying to get a response, and it's working. They're getting a response.
Okay.
Because then if you come back, then you go. We're good right now.
Okay.
Okay, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, officer.
Take care. You too. Nice to meet you. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
What happened,
If
Jason?
you guys can still hear me, what happened was, yes.
I'm Chris with the New York Times. We got video of you guys.
Oh, you did?
If you need it.
You think it's over. By the way, that's the New York Times reporter letting him know they caught the whole thing on film. Not just CNN, but New York Times also caught it. There's probably a slightly different angle if you have New York. It's a paywall there, but
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I can hear you still, Jason. What's happening?
So here's what happened, Laura. The officer, I was called over, and the officer told me to put my hands behind my back. I said, am I being arrested? He said, you were being detained. I was walked out of the area. They took down my information.
he was in the designated media area with other reporters from other agencies, but he's CNN. And they know that this is going to be live on CNN. They want a reaction, ladies and gentlemen. I say we give them the reaction that they're asking for.
Oh, I'm losing his IFB right now. I can't hear you, Jason. John Miller.
I think this is a perfect encapsulation of what to hand them away. This who yet not influence to intimidate. They just listen to this threat against Gavin Newsom, which apparently he's not too keen on anymore.
California specifically, the president told reporters earlier that if he were you, he would have the governor of California arrested. Can you just...
Well, the rest is order, Zarb. He said he was going to arrest Mr. Newsom, and Trump said that he should arrest Mr. Newsom, and here the pussy is cowering out. Just like Taco Trump, Taco Borders are, they're fucking tacos. You stand up to them, you win in the end. They're making an issue out of L.A. intentionally, and they're going to get the reaction they ask for. This is David Finkel, out.